picking up where we left off here, we have some researchers wanting to know whether the use of cell phone impairs reaction times in a driving skills test. Reaction times are measured when subjects perform the driving task without using cell phones, and then again with the same subjects using cell phones. Now notice it's the same subjects. This is definitely a matched pairs design, right? Before observations were taken for these two conditions, subjects had a warm-up time interval to become familiar with the task, so reaction times would not tend to change from one condition to the other merely because of increased familiarity. Okay, so they have a whole table in here of data, and I left a couple of them blank just to give you some ideas here. So you've got to find the difference. I wanted you to understand. So student number 1 took 604 seconds to do it the first time and 636 seconds to do it the second time, which makes a difference of 32, right? That's what I think. And you'd put that right down in there for the difference, okay? And then you do it again for all of them. I mean, I've done it for most of them, so bear with me. But there is one more that you have to do in the back, the last one, I think. And while you're on the subject, I mean, it's not a bad idea to get this all typed into Excel and or StatCrunch. You know you're going to need to eventually, okay? The last one is, I believe, -7. Okay. And the reason I know it has to work that way is because of the other problems. So, for example, student number 1 was right here. Student number 2 had 556 and then 623, so that's a difference of 67. Since it was positive, it must mean that we're taking the yes with the cell phone minus the no without the cell phone. That's our difference. Okay, and the last one, as you can see here, is -7. I just made Excel find all the differences. I typed in all the values. All right, so the following box plot shows the differences between the non-cell phone group, there it is, right, non-cell phone, and then the cell phone group. What major distinctions are there between the groups? Okay, well, we can see that both have an outlier, so somebody apparently is not very good at doing this, whatever task this is, right? The cell phone group is much higher than the non-cell phone group. I don't know if you can see it, probably can't. The median for the non-cell phone group is lower than the first quartile for the cell phone group. So the median for non-cell phone is lower than Q1 for the cell phone group. That's just for starters, right? Which means that 50% of the non-cell phone times were faster than 75%. So just think what that means. 50% of non-cell phone times are faster than 75% of cell phone times. Big difference in the groups. Right? There really is, right? There's a reason that lots of states have laws that you're not supposed to use your cell phone when you drive, and it's precisely because of tests like this, done over and over and over, all showing that when you're driving with a cell phone, you're just not as good as when you're not. Okay, so there's that. Then we believe that there's a difference in cell phone times between cell phone and non-cell phone, but is it statistically significant? So we saw that there's a difference right here. We can see it visually, right? That this group is much higher than this group. So it's taking them a lot longer. So we're going to conduct a test at the alpha equals 0.05 level to be sure. Okay, so step 1, we're going to need to make some hypotheses. Step 2, they already gave us alpha, so there we go. All right, let's go find our difference. So basically we want to know, is there a difference or not? Do we want to just know different, or do we want to say, yeah, difference in times? They're not saying what kind of difference. So we're going to assume that it's a two-tailed test, which is this one right here. And that actually is the null hypothesis right there. Is there a big difference in the two groups? If there isn't, that would mean that the difference is equal to basically 0. And if there is a big difference, then it's not equal to 0. All right, we're done with that. I'll be back to find the test statistic next time.